Good afternoon. This is Veterans Talk. It ain't nothing but a thing. But it's a thing we want you tuned into every Saturday afternoon. We are here today doing the same thing we've been doing ever since we started the show. Trying to make sense out of a sensitive situation called the plight of veterans in the USA, and the USA with the plight of veterans. I'm Elson McGee, your host, and I'm here with my partner in crime and co-host, Tony Mary. How you doing, bro?
I'm good.
You know, you were saying something, and I want to get to this right fast because it was something that we talked about, and you was able to go to the Marvin Arrington homegoing ceremony. Could you just tell?
Yeah. It was a service held at City Hall, and it was really inspiring. I had forgotten how much history that I had lived through in this city until I saw all the speakers and the people that were referred to that were associated with the history in this city.
Yes.
And I'm like, it was one of the things that I thought about afterwards. It would have been wonderful to have been on the wall, a fly on the wall in some of those conferences where he was involved with all the challenges that the city was going through when he was an administrator.
He was the president of the city council?
Yes.
For what, 15 years?
Yes, for 15 years. The longest president of the city council. And so all of the things that the city was going through during those desegregation years and all the many things that were happening, he was in the middle of that, making sure that our city remained sane, because there were people who were challenged the city government simply because of the makeup at the time.
And the integration of the city.
Yes.
And you know, with that, Tony, I want to kind of just say this, and then we got a special guest here with us today. But we just went through this quietest celebration in this nation's history. The 75th anniversary of the desegregation of the U.S. military.
Yeah.
And what you're talking about plays right into focus, because, see, racism didn't go away because we tried to integrate this country.
Exactly.
And we got to realize that some of this racist overtone is still infecting the government operations today.
Yes.
So we're gonna stop there because we got Tony Barr with us today. You know, Tony is more than a partner. He's become a friend. You know, because Tony have been supportive of Vietnam Veterans of America for years. I'm not talking about just showing up to our projects, but I'm talking about monetarily donations to help us do what we do. Frontline community service. Yes. This brother is amazing to me because of what he does every day for veterans in this country, in this city, in this area, because 17 to 22 young men and women are committing suicide every day that are coming out of the military. Yep. So Tony, brother, thank you, brother, for coming on, and I just want to say thank you for what you do for us in the community.
You know, I'd like to say thank you and Mr. Tony Merritt as well for your service, and my thing is always to see if I can repay you for your service, because I think it's so taken for granted. I guess that's one thing when you live in this democracy, and you seem to see an attitude of people thinking, what have you done for me lately? And they move on. But we got to change that mindset, and that's just, as a concerned citizen, that's just something I aim to do from the frontline Vet 22 side of things.
So thank you, brother. Now we got some really exciting thing coming up, man. I was watching this with 82-year-old veteran that's finna do this run, man. I'm so excited about that because he's a veteran.
Yeah.
He's a veteran, and you got him to. But tell us about it, Tony, because I done been out there.
Yes, Frontline Vet 22 is actually getting ready to do a major run. It's going to feature actually 80-year-old Mr. Stan Cottrell. That's a U.S. Marine veteran. He's an ultra-distant runner, which means he runs long distances. He's ran over probably 283,000 miles to date, more miles than any human in the world. And what he's going to do starting September 22nd from the Capitol, down at the state capitol in Atlanta, Georgia, he's going to start his journey to do 2,022 miles, and it's going to take 67 days. We have him running a pace of about 30 miles a day. And he'll stop in different cities along the way between Georgia, Florida, come back through Chattanooga and back to the capital right before Thanksgiving. And the goal is to raise funds and awareness to promote suicide prevention and other programs and organizations that have a keen interest in helping our veterans. So this will be one of the biggest tasks we've ever taken on, but the goal is, and what Mr. Stan Cottrell has said, is that he is hoping to raise at least no less than $22 million on this run. And he's getting a good head start because he is a member of First Baptist Church of Atlanta. For those that may not know, that church was founded by the late Dr. Charles Stanley that recently passed, but it's under Pastor George now. And the church, when Stan turned 80 a month or so ago, they called him up front to wish him happy birthday and asked them to tell them about the run. And well, they say they're going to send 1,000+ members down. Pastor George is going to come out and do the send-off prayer for him. And they're going to circulate the run to over 100 and I think 20 million followers they have in over 192 countries, I believe, to ask to donate at least $22. Mr. Carter has also attracted the attention of the World Chamber of Commerce, which also has about 105 million funds. They're going to be asking to do the same thing. In addition to the advertisement going along the way to the different cities and towns that we'll be stopping through as well. So this is something big, and it's like I say, it's to make a statement and also uplift our veterans, not just Vet 22 or Frontline, but other organizations, whether it's Vietnam Veterans of America. We want to make sure all these organizations get a piece of this because of the great works they do. And this is just one way maybe we can do things fast without going through a lot of red tape. So that is something big that we're looking forward to. We're working on daily to do that as well. But like I say, we're doing this especially for all the veterans, you know, caretakers, caregivers, all those people that support our veterans and understand the importance of it. So we'll be giving more updates on that as we prepare to get closer to it. But we're working around the clock to make sure that people understand what this run is all about, the Vet 22 Suicide Prevention Run.
Thank you, Tony. Now, something else you're about to do too. I know I'm pressing you for information, but I'm glad to have you here. So I want to share this with the audience, so they will know that Frontline Community Services just ain't in one vein. They are involved with working with, especially with, and we're here in Fulton County, with suicide prevention issues. So I know you got something being planned for September. Could you talk with us a little bit?
Actually, yes, we received a grant from the Fulton County Veteran Services, and it's actually where we're going to have a session starting September through November, actually at the headquarters Vietnam Veterans of Atlanta on Main Street and in College Park. That's September through November, and what we're doing is seeking veterans and caretakers in Fulton County. This is free, and all you have to do is just either you can contact Frontline or I can give you our 800 number, and we'll be able to service up to 50 families of veterans. And veterans also, in December, we'll be at the Legacy Center on Martin Street in East Point as well. So we want to make sure that the Fulton County veterans, homeless, doesn't matter, we'll be able to give you mental health assessment, individual and group therapy, psychological evaluation, medication management, holistic services, and fitness and nutritional information. So this is something we really want to utilize. And we want veterans to find out about this and families and take advantage of this opportunity that we were given. And like I said, we thank also Red McGee for leading us to Club E.
No, what we're looking at, Tony, and we want that Vietnam Veterans of America, we want to be there to support you. And for those individuals that need claim help, you know, they need to file for disability claims at the VA, we'll be set up at your sessions to help them do that.
Yes. Well, thank you. And that would be definitely appreciated because it's definitely needed because we get a lot of information about that where some people just don't have a clue. And that just gives me a flashback with a youth orchestra I worked with. We had a veteran. She was trying to get her benefits, and I never forget. Seemed like she was trying for years. And I never forget the day that one of the directors said, well, she passed away and she never got her benefits. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's why I say nobody should die trying to get benefits. Yes. You know, we just got to do better.
Yes. And with that, you know, I want to tell people about we're just going to digress a little bit and talk about claims because it's, to me, one of the issues with the suicides, VA and DOD is not really taking a real responsibility to the families. So we are in the process of trying to develop a strategy to file for disability claims for some of those families, you know, to make sure that they get the benefits that individual that committed suicide never lived to get. So we are focusing on with the claim system to try to find a way to make VA and DOD accountable to the individual families who are losing their loved ones to suicide, especially when we can show that those individuals came out of the military with a readjustment issue. You know, whether it was depression or whether it just was having problems regenerating back into society and not being able to do so and becoming frustrated to the point that, you know, that they became mental and wind up going to the VA and committing suicide because they couldn't get the help that they deserve from claim entities in our community. So we are always excited to work side by side with frontline community services and making sure that the families and veterans are getting the information and the assistance that they need to get benefits from VA.
Yeah. One of the things that we're really proud of is the fact that your organization received money from the Veterans Empowerment Commission this year. And the other thing is we can actually show what is being done with those funds.
Yes.
And that's the most important part is that, you know, yes, you're receiving funds, but what are you doing with the funds? You are a perfect example of your receiving those funds and putting those funds into the community for which they were designed to be. Mm-hmm. You know?
And we're Johnny, you just wake up stuffy. We're troubled that organizations like yours, Tony, are not getting enough of these funds too. That is another issue because we're the spook that sit by the door. Yeah. we want to know what's going on, and we want to make sure that our community is getting its fair share.
Yes.
You know, we're talking about a very small part of our population. Less than 1% of the population in this country ever have to serve in the military. And quasi-kept, military service is the most hazardous duty that you can perform. You know, it is the most hazardous duty. I'm not just talking about those that go into combat, but we got over 200 military bases in this country that are contaminated, right? Mm-hmm. Like Camp Lejeune. You know, we hear a lot about Camp Lejeune, but that's just one of the military bases that they have acknowledged that's contaminated and that's killing veterans and their families after military service. So, Tony, it's been so good to have you here today. And anything that Veterans Talk can do, anything that Vietnam Veterans of America can do to work with you, to assist you in what you do every day, you know we're going to be there. We're gonna always be there.
Likewise, and like I was saying, and one of the things that I'm also committed to, and I don't know the latest if they signed the budget to go ahead and move the monument out of Piedmont Park, but there's a keen interest. I personally, you know, have taken a stake to make sure that happens, especially before the year's out.
Amen. Amen. Well, we want to thank you for that, Tony, because see, I didn't want to hide behind the desk because everybody think that I'm up and rolling, but I'm on a walker. And you know, I'm going through some painful episodes every day with dealing with VA and the medical and industrial in the community. But one of the things that we're concerned with, and me and Tony have been talking about it, that we haven't heard from the mayor yet. You know, we haven't heard from the mayor, and I'm hoping this week that I'll be in physical condition enough to go down and knock on his door, because he needs to make a decision. What we was talking about earlier, this 75th anniversary of the desegregation of the U.S. military was when the military was first integrated. You know, but prior to that, there was two militaries, you know, the black and the white. But I think that a part of that black military performed so well during World War II. The Tuskegee Airmen is what I'm talking about right now.
Yes.
But that was not the only black unit that performed well to help win that war. But after the war, with the casualties and the you know, the losses that America has took, white people just wasn't all that excited about military service. So the President Truman had to do something to beef up the U.S. military, because it had been taken, you know, even though it won the war, it, you know, it had a lot of casualties. Yep. And that impact on this public was that, you know, I'm going in the military. So they integrated the military, meaning that all races, all colors, all nationalities came into the same military treatment modality, meaning we made us equal. Now, you got to remember, Tony, and the audience, that at the same time, the rest of society was still segregated. So some of the issues that young black and people of color experienced trying to integrate the U.S. military caused readjustment issues. Racism was real. I done did cases where young black people was attacked and painted white on ships, you know, and did all kind of stuff throughout trying to integrate this military. And, you know, so it kind of bothered me when I saw that it's a anniversary that nobody is talked about except President Biden. Yeah. The only person publicly I've heard that mentioned this desegregation anniversary. And it's important at this time more than ever before that our project, the Sons of Atlanta, be a call to unity for not just for veterans, but for our all communities who have paid the price for this nation to be where it is today. Because it is our diversity that has strengthened us.
Exactly.
It's our diversity that has made us great. Not somebody gonna make America great again. It ain't never been as great as it is today because of the diversity that we have in this country. And we need to make people understand that those people that calling for a white nation, talking about black history need to be taught in a certain way, take a seat. Yeah. Have a seat. Sit down somewhere.
Yeah. No, not just that. Read a book.
Yeah.
You know, those things are documented. Mm-hmm. It is documented that what we contributed to this country, but they're choosing not to read those books. It's in history.
It's in history.
You cannot erase history.
So they want to rewrite it.
They want since they can't erase it, they're going to rewrite it to fit their situation, and that's not going to happen.
Yes.
Because once a rewritten fact can't hold any ground to a known fact.
No.
You know.
So we got all of this stuff evolving around at this time where in our history, in this military arena, the plight of these people that served in this country are being neglected to the point that we got a crisis on our hand, and that's the suicide crisis. Yeah. Now, homelessness is not that far behind suicide to me, because I go downtown, in my hometown, downtown Atlanta, right around the Capitol, Tony, we got homeless veterans sleeping in the streets, you know, and that's, to me, that's a shame. And that's why I'm so glad today that you came on the show. We're not gonna hold you throughout the show. You can tune in and follow through with us, but we're so glad that you're doing what you're doing, brother, and we want to thank you and let everybody know that we're in harmony and lockstep with you with what you're doing. So thank you for.
And let me read one more thing before I leave out. I want to also tell you, working with an organization, the Birdwell Foundation out of Texas, and they have a book, a manual, and it's dealing with MST, which is military sexual trauma, PTSD, and all the little dark things that lead to some of these suicides, kind of bring them to light.
Yes.
And my goal is, personally, I'll be raising funds to give these books to veterans.
Okay.
It's a nice guide. I have to get you a copy of one. But and it goes pretty deep, and I think it may help a lot of, especially veterans, even in those situations, because it shows that somebody's compassionate, somebody is concerned, and somebody's caring.
Yes.
And so that is part of the journey as well. We'll be, like I said, I want to treat those books just like the Gideons do with Bibles.
Yes.
You know, they have in places where you can just take one and benefit from it, no charge.
Yeah.
So that is something else I'll be sharing with you and Tony as well. And I'm hoping this week I'll have a couple more of the sample books, and I'm going to personally make sure you all get one.
Okay, Tony. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Right.
I want just one other thing. That is a true example of what, and I'll say it again because we just can't enforce it enough. When you receive funds to help an organization, we want to see what you're doing with these funds, and you're showing us exactly what you're doing with the funds that you've received. So that's really important, and that's something that we need to focus on to show that people receiving these benefits are sharing what they receive with the community that needs it most. And we know our veterans need it more than anything.
And you know, I'm glad you brought that up, because see, Tony, you know, I said this earlier. My issue is that organizations like yours didn't get enough of this money, because we got organizations that's been getting this money. I can't see no footprint. Ain't got no footprint in the sand. They ain't came this way. You know, they're not impacting the population that the funds was geared to impact. So, but I'm so thankful that you stepping up and standing out, because I call for a review of these organizations, which you'll probably get a notice from Fulton County, because I call for a review of all these organizations, because I want to see the footprint. The community needs to see the footprint.
I agree.
So thank you, brothers. Thank you for what you're doing.
Yeah.
Bernard, I thank you all.
Yes, thank you. So we know we're going to come back again, and I hope it'll be in September after this race starts, so we can kind of get some snapshots of it and support that project as it go forward.
All right, will do, and I will keep everyone updated.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you all.
All right.
All right.
Okay. Now, what we're
Recording.
What we're moving at today, and what we got to move at, is looking at some of the things that's going on with veterans. You know, I'm looking at things that they really need to know. Right now, there are 11 bills, 11 different bills in the Veteran Affairs Committee of the House of Representatives. We got people in the House of Representatives right now that want to cut veterans benefits. Yeah. They want to limit veterans benefits. So I'm gonna ask this question again, and me and Tony been talking about this question. Do veterans vote matter? Yeah. I mean, do our votes matter? Are we gonna sit back and let these folks take over our government, and we got a chance to go to the poll and vote them out?
Yeah, yeah. The interesting thing about that is these funds are designated for veterans.
And they keep saying, listen, one of the bills that made me, that I'm glad to see coming there, but it kind of teed me off when I look at it, because it never should have been like this. I retired from the U.S. Department of Veteran Services, right? If I'd have retired from the U.S. Department of Defense in any branch of the military, and incurred a disability as a result of that same service, my retirement pay would have been offset by the disability pay. I couldn't get both of them, even though I've earned them.
Yes. You
know, I seen that over the years in my advocacy and in my work as a claim rep, right? And that's a slap in the face of Colin Holly and all these brothers that I know and Dr. Carver who passed, all these brothers that I know that put their whole career into service for this country. And you know what the issue is now, why I stuck? Get that, Tony.
Okay.
So
make sure I don't hang up on him.
Issue.
Yep.
Hello?
Hello, how are you?
Okay, who we talking to?
This is Cassandra McAllister with Karen and Loving.
Yes, Karen Loving, my favorite. Listen, we get together soon. Because I've seen some stuff that we're working on together. We need to work on it, okay? But
Amen.
It's so
just want to
good.
let you know I'm watching you, supporting you guys.
Yeah, well, it's so good that you called in right behind Tony and getting off because of your organization and because of your personal experience that we you know that it just broke my heart. It made me a part of you forever because of your son. Your young son. So tell us about what you're doing with your organization right now, Cassandra, and then make a commitment that we got to get together soon, if possible, this week coming up. Cassandra.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
I don't know if my service is good.
I know you get nervous every time I ask you to do that. But you know, we got your back, baby. Come on.
Hi, yes. Yes, we are so pleased to be working with Mr. Tony and Reverend Alvin Johnson. This organization and our mission that we are out here for the vets. Us Gold Star mothers, we still live through our kids. Yes. We strive through our kids. We're making it known to love each other through family members. Yeah. We're trying to come to these communities to bring awareness. We have to bring caring and loving back into the world. We have to bring caring and loving back into our homes. Yeah. It's okay to conversate on deep conversations that is uncomfortable for us, as long as we do it at a decent and, how can I say, voice. Mm-hmm. I didn't know I was going to be right online right now, but with that being said, we all need to just come back together with this caring and loving for our nation.
Yes.
And help these vets.
Yes.
That have been through some things and bring it back home to us civilians that love our vets.
Yes.
And whatever they have been through, we listening to them. We listen.
Yes.
We don't need to try to speak back to them. We need to just come and feel their energy of what they've been through at their time. Yes. And let it get off their mind. Because once they see that the loved ones here was missing them and wanted to hear from them what they've been through,
yes,
and receive it, and not to voice their opinion at that moment because we wasn't there.
Yeah.
We wasn't there. So with all that being said, with some goodness with the world, with us now, come together, Karen Levin, missions, nations with the vets, with you guys, with the...
Yes.
It means a lot from us, Mother. It takes a lot from us to even just have a conversation sometimes because we be all over in our mind trying to make sure we say the right thing at the right time and not to offend certain people, to be into the political and biblical, if that makes sense.
Yes, yes. You know, one of the things that has always impressed me is your strength to deal with the situation that society has handed you. You know, and the problem is that we got to break through with the effort of getting people to hear this before it reaches their doorstep. Because some of the same kind of issues that your son came home with, young people are coming home with today. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop. You know, until we address it. And, you know, I'm just so grateful for you to even with your pain, with your huge loss. And I say huge loss because I was a mama's boy, too, you know. I was a mama's boy.
You know it. Amen, yes.
Yeah.
We just trying to provide insight we're just trying to provide insight on what is going on and what it's like to be grieving and to go through the process.
Yeah.
And we are in real time situations right now.
Yeah.
In this world.
Yeah.
And it's they calling it mental illness.
Yeah. And it's run rapid because we don't understand it. You know, we were talking about the 75th anniversary of the U.S. military desegregation. You know, just because it was desegregated, that don't mean that it wasn't still racist. And some of the racist attitudes and conducts that young people of color had to endure,
of course,
in the U.S. military caused them to have mental issues.
Yes.
So we got to make sure that people understand that. I remember going through basic training and watching some guys that couldn't even endure the rigor of basic training without having a mental breakdown. You know, these things are not told to the families. They just send them home. You know, they send them home and say they're unfit. Why were they unfit? They weren't unfit when they left home.
There we go. They want to be able to come back home and still be in a safe place to be able to speak on it.
Yeah.
If it makes sense.
But the issue with the military denial and the VA denial of this impact make it difficult for them to come back home, because when they reach out, you know, when they reach out to the VA and don't get that loving care,
it does something to them.
It exacerbates the issues. I can personally testify to
questions.
I can personally testify to it because of my own re-entry. And the issues that I faced, I know that these young people faced the issues and they just didn't survive it.
They couldn't, and all they was doing just asking questions.
Crying out for help. You know, they cried for different ways. I can remember my cry out for help was to act up and, you know, and do stuff in the community that I'd never done before, and, you know, had my father trying to figure out what was going on with me, what my mama trying to figure out what was going on with me. And I'm being told it now because I'm ashamed of it. I'm ashamed of my mental breakdown.
There we go. So that's what our pride, we have to come through our pride.
And if you ain't got loving care, and I'm going to say this, it was the loving care of my mom that saved my life. You know, I mean, because I was confronted with suicide, you know, shooting drugs every day, you know, doing stuff in the community that, you know, would call the police to kill me. But and my family went through that. They went through that. And just by the grace of God, I survived it. And I want people to know that there is the possibility, there is hope. There is hope and loving care.
It's sharing and loving, and it's sharing time. We have to share. Tell our story and share it, and not ashamed to even face it. And it's not about that as well. That we just give them faith. We have faith and we have the hope.
Yes. So I'm so grateful for you. Tony was about to say something.
Yeah. What you're doing right now is just instrumental in helping people understand what the families are going through. The challenging part about this is this can't be put on a form when you're requesting services. You know, this is something that, you know, needs to be a part of applying for the benefits for veterans. Is you have a family member. You know, you almost want to say, can we record this and include this in the application for benefits for those veterans? Because this is what the agency doesn't hear. They don't hear what the family is dealing with. And so as a result, it almost as if what you're saying is falling on deaf ears. But we're hearing you, but we want to figure out a way to where the agencies that are making these decisions will hear this.
And and you just preaching to the choir.
Yeah.
So see, we're about to do a claim.
It's show and tell.
Yeah,
I think it's show and time. And Veterans Talk, you guys are doing it.
Yeah.
It's show and tell time because it's parents.
Yeah.
We lost our seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the They need to listen to us. We're praying to them. We still out here helping to bring other veterans into them. There's so many veterans that even just come to me, say something to me. Doing that, if I just have my CL on, they stop me and ask me about it and how do I move so strong. And it's just with conversation sometimes. Sometimes it's just that love and care, but we have to have it out here. We have to give it out here and let people to hear it. They have to hear it. It's time to hear it. This is a grieving mother. I grieve every day. But it takes strength.
Yes.
It takes a lot of strength. And it takes people like yourselves to do it. You guys give me strength. You guys give me the power to even just smile along with the grace of God as well. So you guys keep up the work. Keep up everything that you're doing. And I'm on your team with you. Whatever you need me to do, I will do it. Yes. I will speak it.
Yeah,
I will speak it.
Well, you know, we've been talking and developing an approach to claim that I think gonna work. You know, really.
Amen.
The issue, you know, stems from eligibility. Eligibility meaning what connection that you had to the individual that lost their lives, right? Now, in the laws of the VA,
yes,
your mother is your dependent.
Yes.
Your mother can get surviving dependent benefits from your untimely death or death
and
that's
so how long
connected
does that
to
take?
military service. So we've developed a case analysis, right? And it will probably be the first one that's filed in the country, because we gonna show that the impact of this loss, which came out of the military, which should have been taken care of, right? And we're gonna show where that not being taken care of caused the death.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
God is good, man. I ain't gonna tell y'all about that now.
Not just death, but even before the trauma associated. This wasn't something that happened when the veteran lost his life.
Yeah,
it happened because of the family were dealing with him once he came out of the military. With all of those things happening to him during that period, the family was dealing with it.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, in most situations, you as family members had no idea what to do to bring to the attention of those people making those decisions what you were going through as a family.
As a family.
And that relationship and those things should be given higher priority than some of the other stuff that, yes, it's all important, but that family, his service was for the benefit of the country, and he should receive benefits just for himself and his family and the community, because the community is going to benefit if he is acting up, if he has a challenge with entry into the community, it's affecting the family immediately. But then if he goes out in public, now it's affecting the public. And so those things those benefits that are guaranteed for the soldier, his family, and the community become higher priority than a lot of other stuff that they're making decisions about.
There we go.
Yeah.
You spoke it so well, just like my son was speaking as well to the veterans, because of course he lost his father. We lost his father 9 days later. So this is Army and Navy. We call this 999, 9th month, 9th day, 9 days apart. My son was fighting for his father benefits while he was in the veteran hospital. You understand me? And still fighting the streets when he coming home. Haven't been home a year yet. 3 government jobs my son had at the age of 23. Fighting for his father, a veteran as well. And all he was asking for some respect, that they don't serve the country, and this is all they can get.
See, this is the story.
But it's just too deep.
You know, this is the story behind the suicides a day that the community never hear. They never hear. You know, coming out of the military with readjustment issues, and then to be traumatized by the VA's lack of response to what they consider to be a just application for benefits. You know, I mean, that compounds the problem that he had personally to be dealing with his dad as a veteran.
Yes. He was stressing with that, and even asked, "Can we please see counseling?" And there's a waiting list for that. It was a lot going on, and my son was trying to carry on his bond and was maintaining. I have to give it to him. Much respect. But for my mother, losing the only son, only son.
So we got a battle plan. We got a battle plan.
Yeah. Your call is really making us aware of how extensive trauma from the veteran is dealing with. He's aware that he has a problem, and some of them are even aware that they're causing their families problems.
Yes.
And that's a guilt.
That's a guilt factor. And they don't know they can't handle their problems. And so since they can't handle their problems, they have to take it out on somebody. And unfortunately, that family that's there is the easiest person to take it out on, even though it is not their intention. It is not their intention to hurt the family, because they know they've got that support. But they've got to do something with the emotional trauma that they're going through.
There we go. There we go.
You know.
Amen. You said it. Yeah. So now when these veterans come out and go to these professional peoples with this, what then?
Yeah.
And you know, one of the things that I would like to see is that the family is notified and required to attend these sessions.
Exactly. You took the words out of my mouth.
You know, because see, if we don't empower the family, I know from my own personal experience, couldn't nobody reach me. Couldn't nobody reach me. My daddy couldn't reach me. My mama couldn't reach me. I was off the chains. It was just by the grace of God that I survived it. So if my mama and daddy had been more empowered with information and resources,
and to have been a part of,
that.
They should have been right there beside you, because as
I'm treated, they need treatment.
They were getting the treatment, but they were being shown in some situations how to deal with this. And because most of us as family members, we're dealing from a point of love and caring for, instead of being able to stand back and critically view it.
We can't, you know, because, you know, the dad, you know, the death of it was, my dad stopped speaking to me because I was lying to him. And he knew I was lying. But he couldn't get me to break through that lie because I didn't want him to see me that way. But he died while I was in prison. The trauma continues. You know, it never stops. But everybody have trauma. But the trauma of military is different kind of trauma.
Exactly.
It's a different trauma because it is incurred trying to serve the benefits of this nation.
Yes.
So if it wasn't for that, then we wouldn't have a standing for what we're talking about. But this is a very small population, right? It's not a big population. You would think it's a huge population if you look at the largest part of the federal budget goes to the U.S. military. But if you look at what the personnel get, the treatment that the personnel get, the resources and pay that the personnel get, you'll say, what the? Excuse me as a preacher. Excuse me as a preacher.
You don't have to say the words because we understand. Those of us that are listening to the cries of the families, we understand.
Now, let me do this. I got to do this. I got to stop for a minute and salute my grandson and all the young people right now that's serving in the U.S. military.
Yes.
You know, don't be weary. You know, don't go weary. We got your back. You know, we understand what you're going through. We know that you're the best, and we're gonna treat you like you're the best, and we're gonna make sure the nation treats you different than when they treated me.
Amen.
And these other young people coming out of the military.
Yes, indeed.
Because we're going to be your voice. We're going to be your advocacy. And one politician said, we're going to be your, what he said, going to be, anyway. That's going too far.
Whoa, Father God, amen.
That's going too far. Retribution.
Reverend McGee, boy.
Retribution. We're not looking for retribution.
No.
We're looking for healing.
Right.
Yes.
We're looking for healing.
Yes.
Healing and enlightenment. You know, one of the benefits of our memorial is the fact that we're planning on going into the communities to explain to veterans and their families about what the benefits that those veterans are going to get before going into the military and after they come out of the military. But the important thing is an enlightened veteran is a better veteran. And so if you enlighten these young men before they raise their hand and pledge allegiance to the flag and to the country and to the military service that they're doing, they know what to expect. And so they know what to demand even when they're in the military. I have to honestly say, when I went in, I had no idea what rights I had as a member of the military and what I was expected to receive and should have received. Had no idea. But now, being on the outside, looking back and looking in and seeing all the challenges that, for example, what your family is going through and other families, we know now what to expect and what to demand.
Because it's not going to stop unless we do it like this.
Exactly.
It's just not going to stop. It's not going to stop on its own because we've seen these 75 years, right, that we've been an integrated military force. We've been able to see on the inside of what the military have to do, what it has to go through, what it has to take to build the military that we got, the most powerful on planet Earth today, because of these young people that serving right now, and those that serve prior to. I'm glad to be a part of this little sorority. You know, I mean, but I want my nation, my country, to treat me right. You know, to make sure that I shouldn't have had to wait 16 kind of years after I was wounded in Vietnam to get benefits. 16 kind of years. You know, I went through hell, and my family went through hell because they didn't even want to acknowledge the problem.
Hey, you know I can agree. You know I can agree.
Yes, you definitely can agree.
You can agree. See, and we got only way we're gonna get that to change it. We got to have this conversation that we have now. Veterans talking to veterans and the community about
the family of the veterans.
The families
we got to include that.
The family.
This call has made it so important that the family be an intricate part of any conversation that you have with the veteran, because they're dealing with them before they go into the military, while they're in the military, and after they come out of the military.
Absolutely. Absolutely, I agree.
And so
I agree.
It's a family.
And can you imagine having a sergeant, a lieutenant calling you 3 days after your son has been deceased and haven't seen your child, and they calling and asking the parent of that child, what can I do to change for the next one, that they didn't want to have any more 22s going today? And I was like, officer, I don't even know right now. I can't even explain to you right now, because what you two young men on this panel have been speaking of, my child said the same thing. You understand? So everything that you guys are going through, that went through, I commend you guys for still being here.
Well, we say
because
about
my
the grace
son
of God.
spoke this. Yes. You guys have did awesome, and just to know and just to hearing this confirmation of what my son have said, and I was listening.
Yeah, and let me say this: it wasn't just it was the grace of God and the people that He brought into my life. I tell people, Reverend Kenneth Brew of Cascade United Methodist Church, came to me when I was in prison, when I was going through what I was going through, and reached out to me. Greg Fan, the preacher man, when I got out, he reached out to me, embraced me with love and care.
Yep.
That enabled me to be here today as an example, as a witness that there's hope for the situation. You know, there's hope for the situation. Because just because we go through something, that don't mean that's who we are.
Right.
That's right.
Yes.
And a lot of times people get stuck in there. Well, that's a crazy old veteran. They want to stay away from him. You know? They want to. Well, we ain't crazy. We got some crazy things that we do.
But they need to listen. They need to. We have to learn to listen and pay attention.
But there is a redeemer.
There we go.
There is a redeemer, and we have to keep that. We have to keep that in front of this problem because it's so unnerving, so emotionally disturbing when you think about 17 to 22 young people are committing suicide today.
A day.
That's and you know, realizing that I know what they're going through, and if not, and the society has become so busy that don't have time to care and provide that love and care that's needed at these critical moments when these young people are transitioning back into the community. I was blessed. The second day I was home, my mama said, something wrong with you. She said, you need to go to that VA. She didn't know nothing about no VA. But she knew. She told me when I want what I gave him. I want back what I gave him. I know what I gave him. Because I was a child. I was mama's boy. She knew what I was capable of doing. But she didn't know what I was up against.
Right.
Yes,
So not only was I fighting a war, I was fighting racism and doing the war.
Yep.
Absolutely. You know, there's a lot of that going on in there as well.
Still going on.
You know, I have stories still going on, stories on that one.
Yeah.
Do tell. I do tell on the next one.
So
we can go on, I can tell you.
We got to make them understand today that's a better military. Because it's a fully integrated military. And our diversity is our strength.
Yeah.
We got to stop making people look at us and say some kind of way we are not equal. Some kind of way we are lesser than somebody else. We are all.
We got to show kindness and truth unto you. We got to show the kindness.
And I learned in the military, all us bleed red, all us hurt when we're hit.
Yes,
all of us come from families and communities that want us back. You know, no matter what race it was or what nationality it was, that family was looking for them to come back home too.
Yes, we pray for them to come home. We have to pray for them when they get home as well now.
Yeah, and work with them.
Yes.
And work with them.
And work with them. We have to pray for them to get home, and when they get home, we have to continue to work and pray with them as well.
Okay.
Continue to give them the strength.
And in order to keep going, we have sponsors. We have people that help us out. You know, because you know this is a cost to us every week. We have to pay for what we do. And that's fair.
Yes,
that's America. But how do we do that? We do it through donations and we do it through sponsors.
Absolutely.
We got a sponsor, Razorback sponsor, and we got another sponsor coming on with natural care. It is the autonomy dealing with
tired of skincare products that don't work? Looking for a natural treatment for razor bumps, dark spots, pimples, and eczema? With Corrective Skincare, discover the quick and easy way to eliminate your skin problems. Visit our skincare center for a consultation or shop online at correctiveskincare.net.
So we have to continue. We have to continue.
Yeah, you know, the other sponsor is auto natural medicines, and we have some people on the show to show you what we're doing with that, because medical issues are a major thing in our community. Pharmaceuticals is not the only care that we can get when we got issues, and we want the community to know that, because pharmaceuticals are causing some problems. Economic problems and some emotional problems. Toxic dyskinesia is an illness that's created by medication. So we trying to bring information, but we're trying to also bring solutions to some of the problems that we're having in our community. That's why we're naming this. We're calling the Sons of Atlanta a call to unity for veterans and the community, and all of our communities, we need to come together to deal with the common problems that we have in the community. The most pressing problem today that we have is gun violence. We need to approach that issue this coming November by voting people out that want to flood our communities with guns. We need to get these automatic weapons off the streets of my hometown, Tony.
Yeah. One of the points I wanted to make is we had one of the organizations that we support that supports us is Vet 22. He was on earlier, and he's probably listening now, talking about the challenges of veterans committing suicide. And so this is not, you're not the only person. There are organizations that are trying to work through the VA system to help those veterans. And he runs an organization that we are proud to be a partner with and associated with and a supporter of. And that's Vet 22's. Just want to give him a blast.
Yes, absolutely. Frontline. Yes.
Definitely.
And that's also Cassandra Loving Care. We want
Caring and Loving. Yes, I'm Caring and Loving 501c3 as well.
Okay, give them your contact information, Cassandra. So.
Yes, it's Caring and Loving, and my contact information is 770-256-0262. And yes, coming out of my own pockets with the grace of God and the help of Vet 22, along with the Veterans of America Frontline, everyone in the other organization I've been working with, they have really been guiding me through this. It's for the community.
Okay.
It's for us, for our family, to put us back together in here. So if we can all just get our missions together, if we can come together up under an umbrella.
Okay, thank you.
If we can come together under an umbrella. Thank you. You're quite welcome. I'm so sorry.
At the end of the show, we'll see you next week. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram.
Yes.
And make
Don't
a
forget
comment.
to buy a brick. Don't forget about to buy a brick.
Buy a brick. And buy a brick. Thank you, son. See you next week at the same time.
Yes, you guys have an awesome Saturday.
Yes, and you too. So we're looking forward to you liking us on Facebook, following us on Instagram, sharing us, and making comments about the show. And join us next week. Same place, same time. Veterans talking to veterans and the community about all things veterans and the community. Tony?
Yes. Thank you.
All right, peace.
Yes. I do.